Hello, good morning from Bristol. Today is Diwali, and I've been receiving hundreds of messages from friends all over the world wishing me a happy Diwali. Some of my Western friends have been also wishing me happy Diwali, and they've been asking me, what is Diwali? How do you celebrate it? What does it mean for you? So I thought I'll make a little video and talk about Diwali as I know it. So I'm going to start with actually getting dressed for Diwali. So let me wear my cap. And this is actually Nehru topi or Gandhi topi, a traditional cap worn in Maharashtra where I come from. So I'm now dressed for it. I'm wearing a kurta and a pajama. So this is how I look. Diwali is a festival of lights. Diva is something like this. This is a lamp. Show it to you. And I've got two of them. So put them together and it's Diwali. A row of lights. You can have as many lights as you want, and a row of lights is actually celebration of Diwali. It's about joy, it's about prosperity, it's about feeling happy, it's about giving. Diwali means different things, and it's all a mixture of culture, traditions, rituals, and it means different things for different people. Even in the same region, a farmer's Diwali is different to a trader's Diwali. And who celebrates Diwali? The Hindus do it, the Sikhs do it, the Jains do it. That's from a religious point of view. But actually, everybody celebrates Diwali in India. I receive Diwali messages from my school friends belonging to all faiths. So, how is Diwali celebrated in India for me? So, I'll have to tell you where I come from. Actually, I come from the state of Maharashtra, Mumbai, which is on the western side of India. And it's a big country. So, you got North India, South India, Western India, and Calcutta side. So, that's the eastern parts. I was fortunate enough to get influenced by a few different streams of people who came from different parts of the country with different rich traditions. And my memory lane actually goes back to about 4 decades when I was a little kid, and my mom and dad introduced me to this lovely festival of Diwali. So, how long do we celebrate Diwali? Diwali spans over 4 to 5 days. It's based on lunar calendar and it starts with Dhanatrayodashi or Dhanteras. That's the 13th day of the waning moon. So, what do we do on Diwali? So, before Diwali, we clean up our houses, decorate, repaint our walls, and get everything spick and span. So, all the old junk is discarded, making space for new. It's old over new. Traditionally, this was a festival which has been celebrated for millennia. 7,000 years ago, Lord Rama defeated the evil King Ravana, and then that was done, I think, on the Dashehra day. And 20 days later, he arrived in his capital in Ayodhya, and people celebrated it. They welcomed their king with lights, and that's how Diwali began. That's one version, the North Indian version of Diwali. In South, they focus more on Krishna or Vishnu defeating the evil Asura or demon called Narkasur and releasing 16,000 women from his harem. And that's again good over bad, good over evil. There are, as I said, 5 days of Diwali. It starts with Dhanatrayodashi, which is the day, the evening when you draw Rangoli footsteps on your doorsteps to welcome the goddess of wealth in your home. So I'm going to actually cover all the traditional bits, the fun bits, one by one as I go through. But let me give you an overview. It starts with Dhanatrayodashi. The second day is Narka Chaturdashi. So as you will see, Trayodashi is 13th day, Chaturdashi is the 14th day. So on the next day, this is the day where when the Narkasur story narrative has its importance. The third day is the main day of Diwali, and it's Lakshmi Pujan. It's again a festival more important for the trading class, the Gujaratis with whom I grew up with. They start their new um, financial year from this day. They have a worship of their books called Chopra Pujan, and that's done again in the evening. And it's marked by lighting large number of fireworks and crackers and wishing people throughout the day Sal Mubarak, going to each other's homes and saying a happy Diwali. So I remember as a kid in Ghatkopar in Mumbai, where I grew up amongst the Gujaratis. And we used to go around each house and wish everybody, all our neighbors, a happy Diwali. And then we would get little treats. It's pretty much like in Halloween, kids in the West get their little treats. So it was almost that. Sometimes we got little pocket money as well. And on Diwali day, everybody who came in the house had some sort of a sweet or gift or something to make them happy. So that's one astounding memory that I have. And I've got actually something to show you. This is actually the traditional batua. So this is where you keep some money. And this is my mom's batua. So I've got this batua just to show you some coins that we had. So I would put it on a pedestal and then offer a puja, some flowers, worship the wealth. I've got some banknotes here. I've got some from my travels. This is the Bangladeshi rupee, and this is of course the US dollar. So I've got some forints, and I've got, I think these are Greek coins. I think the drachmas, I'm not sure. These are the Thai bahts, and we've got some Roman money, got some Indian rupees. So all these different little notes. Here's my coin collection, by the way. So all the different coins that I used to collect as a kid. So it was all. So this is sort of like anything that represents wealth. I can like put it on a pedestal, offer some flowers, offer my reverences, and then what we do is we have a nevedya. Nevedya is actually like a offering of food that you give God. You light a lamp, and the belief is like with the lamp as the messenger, all your good sentiments would go straight to the goddess. Now it permeates through time and space. It goes from this world to that world. How it does that will be another lecture. It's quite philosophical. But that's about Lakshmi Pujan. And this is also called, there's another day called Padwa, and this is actually a celebration of husband and wife relationship. So the marriage vows are actually remembered, and you recommit yourself to your marriage. So this is a evening, a day of celebration. The kids are having good time, and then it's basically between you and your partner, where you celebrate the relationship, and it also includes maybe remaking all the differences that you had with your spouses. The last day is Bhai Beej, or it's called Bhau Beej in Marathi, Bhai Dooj called differently again. So this is actually a celebration of the relationship between a brother and a sister. So look at the greatness of the tradition. You have your wife, but it's not at the expense of losing everyone else from the family. Or when you are actually celebrating your sister, your wife joins in. It's not one or the other. So this is how everybody comes together and celebrates Diwali at various levels. It's at an individual level, it's at a spiritual level, it's at a family level, it's at a social level. So it's a whole package of celebration. Some of the things that I remember from my childhood are memories of Rangoli. So, what is Rangoli? Rangoli is a pattern that is actually drawn on um, soil or floor, and you prepare the floor with some mud like geru, it's called. It's a red oxidized mud. So, you make a nice background. Or in the good old days, it used to be a nice cow dung smeared floor, which is really cool, by the way, and highly bacterial. It wards off all the bad bacteria. It's very hygienic. And on that, you draw these patterns. So, literally, Rangoli is a powder, a white powder of earth, and it's dolomite, I think, chemically. Or also, you have ground marble, which is used as Rangoli. And you take a bit of powder on your hand and you pick it up and literally start drawing. So I used to do that as a kid, and we used to look forward to drawing Rangoli patterns. My mom was particularly good at it, and you get different colors that you mix in your Rangoli. So you have red, you have green, you've got blue, you've got yellow, and those colors have got different significance. Red is victory of good or something auspicious, and then yellow is gold, wealth, prosperity. Blue is more spiritual, and orange, I think, is sacrifice. So different colors have got different meanings. One of the other features of Diwali is loads and loads of different varieties of goodies to eat. It's called faral in my place. It's pretty much similar to the Muslims having their iftar parties. Lots of different varieties of food, and you go to each other's home for faral. So some of the things that are very popular for faral are laddus. You get three, four different types of laddus. I remember the besan laddus, rava laddus, the dinkache laddu, and oh, so many different types of laddus that you get. You have jalebis, you got the savory stuff like chakli, you've got chiuda, and different types of chiudas. I used to pick up the cashew nuts, and I used to really like those, picking up those ground nuts, cashew nuts, and eating them. And all of that is highly high calorie rich diet, all fried food. Everything that can be fried is fried on that day. And I have memories of making killas. So this is a very special thing. Killa is a fort. So in Maharashtra, which has a tradition of Shivaji Maharaj, who actually captured various forts, every youngster wants to be like Shivaji. He's a local hero. So kids make mud fortresses and decorate them and draw um, nice winding roads. And I remember going to my mama's place, my maternal uncle's place, and where he had a little patch of a garden, and we kids used to make a nice Diwali fort, and then make a little cave and a tunnel, and put all the historic figures we knew of, like Ramdas Swami, and we used to have little toy soldiers, and then we used to have a nice Hindavi Swaraj flag, an orange flag flying on the fort, and it used to be a lot of fun, lot of fun. So that's one feature. The other feature is lanterns. Diwali lanterns are quite popular. The most traditional motif is the star, but this is a six-sided star. It's the Shiva Shakti star. Now, Shakti is represented by a triangle, and Shiva by another triangle, and it's like a David star, six sided. The other motif is octahedral um, motif, where you basically make a frame of bamboo squares, four of them in a line, one, two, three, four. Then you turn them around, and then the top you put again another frame and another frame. So it gives you a nice globus sort of a motif, and that's a traditional Diwali lantern. So you cover that bamboo frame with some tissue paper, and you put a lamp through it, and you hang it outside your house. So you celebrate and tell the world you're celebrating Diwali. So, lantern making is another fun activity as kids. I remember making paper lanterns. Now, these days, you get all sorts of shape. You get those round Chinese type of lanterns, and you get the Christmas type penta stars, and you get all different types. But traditionally, lantern making is one big uh, element. And in India, if you remember, we have 3 weeks of holidays during winter. So you have like the schools beginning in monsoon, and then you have the Diwali vacation, Diwali, and then you have the second term, which has Christmas in between, and then it goes up to March or maybe April, and then it's the summer holidays, which take you nicely to monsoon of the next season, and the cycle repeats itself. So it's 3 weeks of holiday. So all these little activities keep children very busy. Regarding lights, oh my god, so many different types of lights. When we were kids, I remember my dad used to hang Diwali lights, which were like fairy lights, small little bulbs, which are like in a series. And one big program in the house used to be to hang up the Diwali lights and test them. So every year we used to hang them in different patterns, and then we had a flickering lamp. So one of the bulb used to be with those copper things that used to just touch, heat up, and then disconnect and then connect again. So that was one feature I remember. And my brother actually, when he became a teenager, I remember he had saved all his money and bought literally 4 or 5 thousand little bulbs, and he had put them on a wooden frame and then hung them out. And it was the talk of the town that year. So it was amazing. So I have some really good memories of these Diwali lights. Of course, in commercial celebrations, you got motorized running lights, and then I remember the whole streets being covered with lights at some point of time, and the crackers. That was the highlight. The highlight for us boys was crackers. We would want crackers at the expense of clothes. We would say, Daddy, I don't want a new clothes. I can manage with my old ones, but I want more crackers. And the louder, the better. So in India, you get these crackers, which are like individual little paper crackers with a wick. You light it, and boom, it just explodes. And it's not one, but you have chains. It's called a laddi. So you have laddies of crackers, and in Ghatkopar, I remember, they'll after Lakshmi Pujan especially, people used to put thousands and thousands of crackers and then light it, and it used to go bang 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 bang. It used to just continue doing it with. They used to weave in little green rassi bombs, which were like rope sort of package bombs, which were even louder. So it used to be doom, doom, doom. It used to just go on, and the longer it went, the more you have celebrated Diwali. It was simple equation. So I remember some of those used to go on and on for 40, 45 minutes, and people used to literally do that. It used to be so noisy. At some point of time, it went really bad, and people started marketing coconut bombs. So they were literally shells of coconut, which were filled with all the combustible stuff, and used to light it with a wick, and bomb! It used to just shatter windows, and it had gone crazy. Then the government stepped in, and people realized that pollution is no good. It's causing all the smog, it's causing them lung diseases. And the noise used to be so terrifying, some people with a weak heart actually had some problems. And then the ruling came, I think, in around 84 or 86, around that time, that no more than 70 decibels of firecracker would be legal. So that has brought some sort of sense in this mad race of making the most sound. Come on, guys. After all, it's about festival of lights. It's not a festival of noise. So I think some good things have happened. And this year, I'm told in India, they're almost having a cracker free Diwali. And not to forget about all the child labor that went into those crackers. So, I mean, all these activists the traditions have kept evolving, and people have become more and more sensible as they go around. This year's COVID Diwali would be a rather special event. I think it's mainly online. All families are just gathering, having online celebrations, videos. The internet has actually brought us all together. So, those are some of my sweet memories from childhood. Now, I would like to just end this topic on Diwali celebrations with the gloom of COVID that has surrounded us. We are not able to celebrate Diwali as we used to, but it's actually about lighting the lamp in your heart to drive away the darkness and the gloom. So let me actually end this by lighting a little candle and wishing you all a very, very happy Diwali. So I'm going to just put this candle here. Happy Diwali, all. Wish you a happy and a prosperous new year. May all the gloom of COVID go away. Stay safe, stay happy, and may the joy of Diwali inspire all of us to do good. Let good triumph over evil.